The New York Jets are hiding a secret weapon for this team as GM Darren Mougey and coach Aaron Glenn have a plan built around unsung heroes, and this is one of the key guys in a position that has a superstar but nothing really else to work with, giving this young star a chance to break out on the Jets next to Quinnen Williams, who's going to be demanding a ton of attention from opposing offensive lines all season long, and we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here. We're going to jump right into things as always. If you guys are part of that 60% that's not subscribed, make sure to subscribe to Jets Digest for daily New York Jets videos, and hopefully next time I don't stutter when I say that. But let's jump into the video as always. There's a lot to go over, as Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey made something very clear going into this. They were going to be a team, not a roster, so the effective opposite of what happened last time around. And with that, what we also saw was that it's not going to be name value, because that's the definition of a team, not a roster. It's not going to always be the most name value guys. Now, obviously, there is high value guys like Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields, Quinnen Williams. There's definitely still guys who hold heavy name value in this Jets locker room. I'm not saying there isn't, but at the same time, there have been other guys who are more unsung heroes, and one of them is a very young player who has a great chance to break out with the Jets because, well, he's on the defensive line, and that defensive line, especially that interior defensive line, has just Quinnen Williams, who is no doubt phenomenal, and not much else to work with. And with that in mind, it was brought up by the Jet Press that Leonard Taylor the third, I should say, entered the NFL as one of the most surprising undrafted players in the 2024 class. Once seen as a potential first-round pick, the former five-star recruit instead shockingly went unselected before landing quietly with the New York Jets as an undrafted free agent last year. Now, entering his second NFL season, Taylor faces a different challenge. After flashing intriguing pass rush upside in limited action as a rookie, the former Miami standout is simultaneously fighting to carve out a role in this Jets defensive tackle rotation and also earn a spot on this 53-man roster. Now, obviously, it's going to be tough to do so, but let's jump into some of the reasons why that can easily happen. So, Matt, obviously, when it comes down to a guy like a Leonard Taylor, he's someone who's very talented and was initially the five-star recruit. Obviously, things did not fully go that way, and here we are with Taylor now trying to fight for a spot with the Jets. And as long as he can get on that 53-man roster, what we're going to see is not a hard pathway to getting some serious playing time with this Jets defensive line. Excuse me.
Last year, the New York Jets brought in a couple of undrafted free agents right before the start of the season. And to me, Leonard Taylor III was without a doubt the most exciting guy who was brought in during that time. We thought he was going to be drafted even like pretty early on day 3, with a shock to everyone when this guy went undrafted. He's someone who maybe isn't we're not expecting him to be a crazy guy, but we're expecting him to be someone who can break into the rotation and be just a value for the New York Jets. Obviously, in this league where everyone is getting a new big contract, you got to find guys on smaller contracts. This guy, if he can give us an impact coming as a rotational defensive tackle, that would be absolutely perfect, as we currently don't even have a defensive tackle number 2 next to Quinnen Williams. Right now, it's just Quinnen Williams by himself. This new regime, just like you said, it's not brand name players. It's not high-end names. It's just guys that everyone's trying to carve out a role. Everyone's trying to make that name for themselves and hopefully go ahead and make themselves some money in their next contracts.
Yeah, so when it comes to stuff like that, I do think with Leonard Taylor, it's about trying to carve out that role. And the Jet Press did mention that as well with this whole situation, saying that if Taylor is able to secure his place and build upon the promise he showed as a rookie, there's a chance the Jets' entire defensive line picture could change dramatically. In a position group sorely lacking depth behind Quinnen Williams, Taylor presses the highest ceiling of anyone else in that room. Now, Taylor last season, didn't get a whole ton of playing time, did have a sack and a half, did have 13 solo tackles when he got in there, so there was some definite bright spots for Leonard Taylor. But Matt, where things stand right now, certainly outside of Quinnen Williams, who I don't want to necessarily say doesn't have a high ceiling, it's more Quinnen Williams has been arrived for a bit now. We know who Quinnen Williams is as a player, and he's phenomenal, so obviously he has a high ceiling because he got it. He got there. So that's great. I love Quinnen Williams. Everyone does. Bless you. Thank you. And when it comes down to it, Leonard Taylor, I feel like this is who Jets fans should be most excited about when it comes to the rest of the defensive tackle grouping, because frankly, no one has any idea who the other the starting defensive tackle is going to be right now, because there just isn't a clear answer.
So the New York Jets will be running a 4-3 defense like they did the past couple of years, which means you have 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers. When you have 4 defensive linemen like that, you're going to use 2 defensive tackles. We currently have Quinnen Williams. According to ESPN's polling NFL GMs, players, and scouts, they said Quinnen Williams was the 5th best defensive tackle in football, so obviously we have ourselves a star at that position, but that's nothing new. We knew that. He's a first-team All-Pro, absolute monster. Next to Quinnen Williams is going to be the problem. Right now, we have Derek Nottie is the favorite, if you can even call him a favorite, to
former
be...
Chief.
Yeah, former Chief, to be that second defensive tackle next to Quinnen Williams, but we watched it last year. Even when Quinnen Williams plays good football, we need a lot more help on this defensive line. And honestly, the ceiling or the floor of what we're asking for out of these players, we're just not asking that for that much. We are saying, please just tackle in the run game, run fit properly, which means make sure that you are in the right position when the other team's running the ball. Just make sure you are in your gap and do your job on defense to allow the linebackers or the other guys around you to be able to make plays as well. Last year, the tackling was absolutely terrible. I don't have to tell anyone watching this video about how bad the New York Jets tackling was last season, but Leonard Taylor is definitely going to be someone who can hopefully make a difference, and I'm really rooting for him when it comes to the, breaking out or being the next defensive tackle, whether he's the starting defensive tackle or a rotational piece.
Yeah, I feel like also with what we saw the Jets front office do, which was when it comes to the defensive line, they definitely added names. It's not like they didn't do anything, but what they did was very quiet and not really needle moving per se. When we were under free agency, we made a video on anyone who got signed by the Jets. I remember doing the Derek Nottie video at the time, and we were like, it's good for depth purposes, no doubt about it, but is this the guy who's going to be starting next to Quinnen Williams? Because at the end of the day, we do definitely want to... I mean, given Nottie, who played for the Chiefs, knows how to play next to an elite interior defensive lineman, who knows how to play next to an elite defensive tackle, but when it comes down to it, it's this situation where are we really like... It's not an exciting thing for a Jets team that is definitely in a rebuilding year in a lot of ways, but is also in this year of like building up talent as well, because they get partially rebuilding, but also just like trying to get these long-term anchors for your future and for your present and for this culture. And Leonard Taylor, it feels like, just has such a clear pathway to show something. And even if he's not going to get all the like minutes in the world, all the just... It's going to be one of those things where he's going to get a good enough amount of time on the field as long as he could just continue to produce and be part of the culture. I think with Taylor, partially, it's going to be how is he going to react in training camp, just in regards to his personality, along with the football talent, because there's just not a bunch of football talent ahead of him.
Yeah, what you're trying to say is there is an opportunity for him to show how good he can be, because there are a lot of teams in the NFL, like when you show up to the Philadelphia Eagles training camp as an undrafted free agent, you know that they are absolutely stacked with talent on their entire roster, top to bottom. So it's going to be tough to even put yourself in a position to be able to show the coaches that you are the guy who deserves a real chance. With the New York Jets, we don't have that luxury. We have a high... Unfortunately, it's more quantity than quality right now, but I have no doubt that Aaron Glenn is going to go through, give everyone a fair shot to show what they can do, and the guys who show that they are deserving to stay on the team are going to get that top spots on the depth chart come week 1, September 7th. Leonard Taylor, of course, is a great chance. One of the main guys that we haven't mentioned who he's going to have to beat out for a rotational defensive tackle spot would be Byron Cowart, who he signed from the Chicago Bears. That is the name that if he is going to be coming off the bench, that's the name that he has to beat out. Although that is certainly a name that he can beat out if he does have the talent that we believe that he has.
Well, I want to see it be Taylor, because again, this is about finding everything that works this year, and he gives Quinnen Williams the most potential to be helpful, but we'll see how it all goes down. Guys, what do you think about the whole situation? Let us know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Jets. Matt, should I be the defensive tackle next to him?
No.
No? All right, fine. Later, guys.